break down OMG's first win of the series.
Thank you very much, Joe. I actually am chomping at the bit because the very first thing we want to talk about is the picks and bans, is the composition, and is the game plan that both of these teams went into the match with. I would like to remind everybody that on the side of Cloud9, they banned out 3 mid lane champions. They banned Syndra, they banned LeBlanc, they banned Kassadin. On the other side, OMG made Meteos their very strong focus. They took out Kha'Zix and Elise,
and his jungle
as
Morgana.
well as Jungle Morgana, of course, denying that from elimination. But a clear strategy. I want to actually talk about the pick order. If we can pull that graphic up onto your screens right now. What we're going to do is break down the picks and bans of each of the respective teams. Monty, you were not completely sold by the Nidalee pick. Krepo, you were not completely sold by the Zyra pick. Monty, kick us off.
Yeah, the Nidalee pick is awkward. I'm never a fan of Twitch and Nidalee in the same composition because you just can't siege with Twitch, and that's what Nidalee is best at. So basically, you have to set up for a hard CC onto a target so Nidalee can hit with the spear, and then you can set up the pick. I think here also, Link did get an advantage in lane because Xiang didn't play that well in the laning phase, but Twisted Fate, I think, would have been much better for this composition because you want to split push here. You want to create the picks with Twitch and Jax on the side lanes, and they could have used that Twisted Fate mobility to just continually pick up kills and never even allow the team comp from OMG to group and team fight in the first place.
One thing also that they could have done in a different sense is when we saw the team was actually break out, OMG forcing the 5v5s, CLG taking a dragon they shouldn't have. They had every opportunity to, instead of grabbing Evelynn and Meteos, take the Lulu here for Link, because Jax died at the beginning of basically every fight without having real support there, and like Lulu would have worked in that situation. The fact that they went early Evelynn, like, I know Cena will always just like pick the same champion over and over again, but what if Meteos' champion pool is actually only 3 champions and he had to get that one?
Yeah, I agree with what's being said so far, especially the part where Nidalee shouldn't get as much of a lead against Xiang's Lulu here. I think we've seen enough of these champions already, so we can call the graphic down as we continue.
That's right. Give the fans what they really want. Krepo.
Yeah, exactly. on the topic of Zyra, I think within this composition, she was a good pick because they desperately needed to disengage. And ideally, what you want is whenever an overeager Shyvana jumps in, you place the Zyra ulti, zone their enemy team out. The thing is, OMG played around that pretty well, and the reason I don't like Zyra is because I feel if she ever gets hooked in lane, she's dead immediately. The only exception is that Twitch is actually pretty good at dealing damage for 2 on lane. But you could still see, even after a bad trade level 1, Lucian got chunked down all the way down. But still, Alan and Sun together, they just lane really well. I still don't agree that they gave Sneaky Twitch, though. They should just get rid of the Twitch.
Yeah.
Get an early Lucian, especially now on
How can you say that? It didn't matter. He was caught out of position. He was jumped on.
But that's because Cloud9's vision control was lacking, and I feel both teams didn't play up to... I don't think OMG was so much better than Cloud9. I feel Cloud9 just dropped a metaphorical vision ball, and just at one point Jax based, and he didn't sell his Dorans for wards. If I'm a support and I'm looking around the map, like I'm trying to ward everything, and I see my team just having Doran's items 20 minutes in the game and not wards, sell those Doran items, buy wards, save lives, win games.
Well, the thing is, Cloud9 also made the mistake Fnatic actually made against Cloud9 when they had the Nidalee pick. They started up the dragon. When OMG is actually nearby, they're going for the team fight, and of course they lose it. And we talked about how OMG's come here. If they get 1 kill in a team fight, they will chase you forever because they're so mobile. Nunu is fast, Shyvana is fast. Everyone can just chase after you. And that's what they did. So, big mistake by Cloud9. That's where they actually gave over the map control to OMG as well.
Right, and that's the crazy thing about this is that they were actually winning both of their solo lanes in this game, and there's not really a need to go in on that dragon and try and take it when you could just keep up that split pushing that you're already going to be successful on, because Jax had that big advantage in the earlier game. He had the level edge on Shyvana. He was doing really, really well with his items. He could have split pushed forever, and also Shyvana's early itemization was really subpar. She went Ninja Tabby, 2 Doran's Blades, and a Vamp Scepter, and she was just getting bullied out of lane.
Early home guard as well.
And early home guard as well.
Yeah, a lot of money spent there. So actually we have a replay of the dragon fight we've all been talking about. If we can get that replay up on your screen. I want to talk about what kind of went silly here. So Cloud9, right, they've got a poke composition, they've got Nidalee there, and as we saw from like the North American playoffs, for example, if you engage the dragon without having your entire opposing team on one side of you, then you're going to be in for a bad time. You can see the teleports coming in just now. You can see that on the minimap. Well, let's roll this clip out right now. Watching the bottom right, Lucian's already flanking. This pulls Sneaky to 1v1. I'm just going to watch the bottom right side for now because Balls is forced back, but there's no damage coming from Twitch until now, but he's already on top of the enemy team. Gets ice blasted right away. Shyvana flashes in. Sneaky, basically Son pulled Sneaky away, pulled off the AD carry, and then the entire rest of the team got to collapse down. You can see now the Whimsy, the Ice Blasts. It's easy to chase down at this point, but this was basically Cloud9 suckering themselves into getting flanked with a poke composition, which is the worst thing possible.
Yeah.
And then Twitch, single target damaging off from the side.
Yeah, and even worse, I mean, Cloud9 was supposed to be the team to do the engage because they're Wave lane, they're the one who needs to flank around. But the Nuno pick here actually we saw, I think that was the reason they left Twitch open, and they would have Nuno just snowball him in the team fight in the start to stop his spray and pray for doing all the damage it could, and they would try and shut him down. And then again, because they were so mobile, once they got on top of Twitch, there's nothing he can do. They can just collapse onto him and just kill him. And we saw it here. Sneaky, slightly out of position, I think we can safely say. And then as soon as the snowball was on him, he was dead.
Yeah, that's something I missed initially when watching these compositions is the amount of hidden mobility. Coming out of Lucian, the Lucian can dash forward, Thresh can get people in different places, Lulu and Nuno can chase really easy, slow people down. But the biggest factor, I mean, why these teamfights go so successfully is Alan. Because he's the first guy to land that hook, and that allows his team to just zerg all over the enemy team, then reposition people with Lantern. He landed consecutive hooks on balls in fights 3 times in a row. He's just Thresh God.
Well, for the very last question, OMG, of course, did pick up a win here. They're continually finding success with heavy team fight compositions. This is a comp that we've actually seen Cloud9 run similar sort of champions. It's a comp that they beat Fnatic with yesterday. What does Cloud9 have to do to think about not letting that happen in the next game?
Well, first off, if we go back to the Allen on Thresh here, I'm happy with the first 2 bans from Cloud9. Take away Syndra, take away LeBlanc, but don't ban Kassadin. OMG has banned it themselves. I've never seen Young play Kassadin in LPL either. Just take the chance, leave it open, ban away the Thresh instead.
Cloud9 leaving Kassadin open has...
In the playoffs? Yeah, that could...
No, I'm honest. I would do it. I would do it.
Well, here's the other thing, though, is that coming into the game, they are on red side, so basically they'll have that last ban option, and they may be able to psych out OMG into banning the Kassadin on the blue side, just because they're going to have their final ban first. So, but I agree. We said this before the game. Allen has not been great when he hasn't been on Thresh. Force him onto another pick.
Very quickly before we move on, Krepo.
Yeah, just C9 needs to go back to their original forte, which is their vision control. They need to get better vision and play better with that vision, and then they can do it.
We'll see if they can get the metaphorical vision ball back in their hands. Guys, with that win, OMG are now 1 game away from securing their spot in the All-Star Finals. We'll see if they can get it done coming up in Game 2, or if Cloud9 can come back. We've been showing you fans around the world how they're